Hello everyone, it's Melanie from Speaking Styles. I hope that you're all having an amazing day, or for anybody who's getting up very soon is going to have an amazing day. I had said that I was going to come on at some point today and chat about Tuesday's techniques for preparing. So if anybody is doing public speaking events, workshops, talks, videos, then we all have to do some form of preparation to get there. So I want to take you through some things that I've built in my business that could potentially help you do the same. So today was just to come on and be able to share some more of those things. And I'm jumping on now. I've just finished recording my masterclass to become a fearless speaker. So I've been kind of like holed up in my office all day filming and taking a few different tops to be able to change into. So I thought I would jump on now because I do have some clients later and chat a little bit more about this. So it was a question that someone had put in the group that was one of their biggest challenges. So for anybody else that potentially could be one of their biggest challenge, then you can take some of the things away with you. I know in my business it's probably been one of the challenges for me because generally I'm most of my time is in prep time, and only a small percentage of that is actually when I am doing events and things like that. Most of the time I'm seeing clients, but I'm also in between doing lots of different prep work leading up to something. So I'm sure for some of you out there that's the same thing that you're in. If you are running any events or you are looking to do events or do some more recorded videos, there's a lot of behind the scenes that actually goes on in order to get there. So I've just noted some things down that I've really started to build up in my business. And again, feel free if you're watching this later and you have some amazing tips or techniques that you've found to work really well, then pop them in and let us know, because I think it's a great way for us all to share and collaborate, because what works for me might not necessarily work for someone else, but these are some things that I've really built into my business. And a lot of it is around systems and checklists. Now, it was something at the beginning of my business, I thought, oh, don't tell me about building systems and checklists and all those things of being an employee that I never used to like having to do. But you really need to build those things because it is going to help you give your time back when you've actually started to build those systems in place, because then you just get into a momentum of doing this prep work and it will take less and less time as you go along. So these are some of my key things that I would really like to share with people today, is that your next event or your next thing that you date in your diary, that you say, I'm going to do this live, I'm going to do this recorded video, I'm going to do this meetup group or this event, then put a date in your diary as the deadline. And then we're going to work backwards, okay? So you have that deadline, which means that's your goal. You need to get that done by that specific time. So whether it's your diary, whether you have a time management system tool, whatever it is that you use, I am still a bit more of a diary person. I like to write things down in my diary. I do have my phone calendar that I do use to schedule meetings and things, but I like to be able to visually see my calendar and be able to work back from that. So put the date in the diary. Then what I would really strongly suggest is that you have checklists. So what do you need? What's the tools? What's all of the different things that you need for that day? Like everything, and I mean down to the pens, the paper, whatever it is. If you create this checklist, you're going to be able to have that checklist for anything that you do. And this is going to keep you on track. So I have a checklist of basically so many weeks in advance before an event. And I know the beginning of that week and each day leading up to it, exactly what I need to do. So create a checklist of everything that you need to do, because then what you're going to do is you're going to allocate time against each of those things. You're going to put them in your diary and go, well, that's something I can do the day before. That's something that I need to do a week before. That's something that I need to do every single day prior to that event. So if you're creating content, you're more likely to be doing something like that every day. Whereas if it's promoting it, it's maybe writing scripts about it. Those are things you have to look at and go, what is the big majority of the work that I need to do? Then you're going to block out times in your diary. And those are basically, it's a no-go negotiation. You're going to do it when you block out a big chunk of your day. That's when you need to work on it. You also want to allow times for, I suppose, for sickness, for any unforeseen circumstances that might crop up. Allow yourself a little bit more time for technology. For if you're printing stuff, I know I've been caught out with the day before of ink and paper, and it all becomes really stressful. So now that's me adding that into my checklist of check my paper, check the ink. Do I need to pre-order it in time so that I'm not running around trying to find different places to print? Also, become aware of your own time management skills, because we all are better at certain things than others. So you have to know your time management skill. And what I mean by that is, do you procrastinate and leave everything to the last minute and think that, well, I'll just wing it? Is it, and again, when we procrastinate, it could be because it's something that's confronting, it's something that we don't want to do. We might not want to rehearse and practice because we find it really uncomfortable to listen to your own voice. So figure out when leading up to something that you're doing, what's the things that you resist the most? Because we've all heard of the book, Brian Tracy, Eat the Biggest Frog First, at the first of the day. So I always say those things that make you really uncomfortable, you really don't want to do them first. And then all those little things are going to be so much easier to do. So that's by rating what's your time management skill. What's the things that hold you back from just getting them done? Is it space? Is it time? Is it creativity? Is it distractions? You might need to come away from home and find a cafe and just allocate 1 hour that you're going to spend on that one thing and then move on to something else. Because if we sit all day doing the same task, it can become quite monotonous, and then we start to not really enjoy it as much. Whereas changing up your day and only doing chunks of what you need to do is going to be so much better to do. Another part of preparation and rehearsing and practice is learning to say no to things. So if I have a really busy schedule, say that I've got a date, so I've got a date to do an upcoming presentation. So I will look at networking events, I will look at certain things that I know, well, I could potentially go, or I'm not too sure actually, because this thing that I need to do might take me a little bit longer because maybe it's something new, so it might take a bit longer. So learning to say no to certain things that could potentially take you away from that prep time as well is really important. So I will say no to things or not go to certain things when I know I need to get this done. It's on my checklist and it's something that I need to get done today. The other thing to do is that changing your mindset around prep work and rehearsal. If it's something that you kind of get up in the morning going, oh, I've got all this prep work to do, I've got all this practice, then it's not really going to work out too well for you. So it's flipping that mindset to doing a lot of prep work. And what I say to this is that when you do the video or when you do the workshop or the talk, like, it's showtime. It is your reward from all of your hard work that you have done to get there. It's also the value and the help that you're going to give your audience. So I always say the hard work is done prior to any event because you've done all of that work prior, and you get that reward at the end, and your audience and your clients, your customers get the best of you. But if you don't take the time to put systems and checklists and things like that in place, it's going to take the enjoyment out of it. So set a date, work backwards do some checklists so that you know exactly what it is that you need to do to get to that date and have everything completed. Whether it's you use any of the online or apps or anything like that that you might use, or you might use a diary or alarms that you might want to set, look at your scalability on what it is that you're looking to do. Because if it's something new, you might take longer to do it, but you might need some help as well. So make sure that you look down and go, is this something I could ask someone to help me do? If it's technology and you're not too sure, or if it's the workshop that you're doing, you might want someone to look over it. So you have to be able to then put time into that as well. Maybe it's something you want to outsource. Ask for help. Always think of those other things that you could potentially ask someone else to help you with. So get your systems, get your checklists, start to really plan out what you need to do. Another one as well, and it's something that I've been really starting to create in my business and something moving forward, is that when you create a business or a speaker, this is what you do. So this is what you can come and speak on. This is what you can do workshops around. And if you're creating all of that material, you should have it already there, ready to go. Or you might just need to update it or tweak it. So having templates of everything, doing that in the short term is really going to help you in the long term. So if you know what it is that you are going to speak on, start to build that content so that then it does going to minimize the amount of time that you're spending on prepping. So, and again, it gets you clear in your business about, or in your workspace, that these are the things that you can come and talk at. And these are the things that you can help people with. You'll start to create that content and you won't necessarily have to build everything up from scratch as well. So that's my tips for preparation time leading up to any events, workshop, presentations, talks. And also just to help with that time management is really using the prioritizing. Is it a high priority? Is it low? Is it medium? All of those things about when do you want that done so that you know and you're not getting stressed out towards the end. Learning to say no to things and to people when you know that you've got something really important to get done. And then as you go along, it will get easier, because you'll become more, you'll build on that skill, you'll build on your own confidence, and you'll be able to just, be able to, now I can just like put things together really quickly compared to what it was before. But a lot of that comes from self-belief in yourself. If you're doing something you haven't done before, then procrastination and not doing things and resisting it could potentially be because you don't feel too much confident, or you might feel like the imposter. So the imposter syndrome. So a lot of these things is have those systems in place, but also work on your mindset and your beliefs around it, because as you really push forward with both of those, then you're going to be creating things so much faster than you do in the beginning as well. So they go hand in hand. So working on your mindset, working on your business and your systems are really going to partner up. So that is my Tuesday's techniques for today. So that was answering one of our members' questions. On Thursday, I'm going to be talking about fear and nerves on Thursdays for Thursday's tips. So tune into that if you'd like some more help with that. And again, let me know at any point, post a comment or private message me any other questions that you would like me to go through. And as every Monday at 4 o'clock, we are going to be doing a Q&A as well. So please come on live and I'm happy to answer anything that you have. So that's it from me today. I will see you all again on Thursday at some stage throughout the day. And until then, have an amazing rest of your day and we'll chat on Thursday. See you later.